Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9. How many decades did they hide this? These are alleged government tapes of dragons.
That was not a bird. Explain that shape.
So many different alleged theories of dragons. You know, I think they're out on the outer lands. So that's why I'm looking at like these formations like, man, are these the outer lands? Theories of dragons actually being T-Rexes, crazy sharp tooth fossils found at the top of mountains. It makes you think, were these things really flying around? All societies talk about dragons. And did they ride them? And that's another thing, like How to Train Your Dragon. Did they actually ride these things? Because, you know, we ride everything else. Elephants, horses. I've seen people ride ostriches. So it makes you think, were they hunted down? Did we train them? Did we ride them?
There is something about the moon that defies every law of nature. Something so precise it should be impossible. During a solar eclipse, the moon covers the sun with perfect accuracy. Not too big, not too small. Perfect. The sun is 400 times larger than the moon, and the moon is exactly 400 times closer to Earth. The ratio is exact, the alignment is flawless, and no other moon in the entire solar system creates an eclipse like this. Astronomers call it a coincidence, but the odds of this happening by chance are almost zero. Here is where the mystery gets deeper. As the moon moves in front of the sun, its edges line up with mathematical precision, so precisely that ancient civilizations believed the moon was not natural. They believed it was placed. The Zulu people said the moon was rolled into the sky by ancient beings. The Mayans said the moon was a mirror hung in perfect position. The Sumerians called it the great ship that controls the heavens. And modern scientists discovered something even stranger. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth at the exact rate needed to keep producing perfect eclipses in our era. Not before, not after, only now. Why would a natural satellite fit the sun with this level of precision only during the era of human civilization? Why does the moon appear exactly the same size as the sun from one planet in the vastness of the universe? And why does our moon have the perfect mass, the perfect distance, and the perfect orbit to stabilize Earth as if it were engineered? If the moon was simply a rock, none of this would happen. But if it was designed, the perfect eclipse stops being a coincidence. It becomes a signature, a mark left by whoever placed it there.
I believe in the book of Enoch, it talks about the sun and the moon being the same size. And in the book of Genesis, it says he created the lesser light, I believe. Let's type it in. Created the lesser light. Genesis chapter 1 verse 16. It says he created the lesser light, refers to God creating the moon and the lesser light to govern the night, along with the sun, the greater light to govern the day. You know, that was probably one of the first things that they said to us in the good book. Now, if we go a little bit deeper on these waters, I believe the moon is a female. Enoch, moon says female. When we dive into the book of Enoch by R.H. Charles Oxford, in chapter 72, it's basically talking about the portals on that day that was longer than the night by the ninth part, and exactly 10 parts the night, 8 parts. Sun rises from the fourth portal and sets in the fourth and returns to the fifth portal of the east, 30 mornings and rises till it sits in the 5th portal. You know, you just got this sun, you know, going into different portals, you know, and I believe he talks about storehouses that they get their energy from. It gets deep. And then it says, and after this law, I said another law dealing with a smaller luminary, which is the moon, which is named the moon, see? And her circumference, her. Why is the moon her? You know, it's like, it makes you think about those cycles, you know? And her circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind, and the light is given to her measure, and her rising and setting change every month, and her days are like the days of the sun. And when her light is uniform, it amounts to the 7th part of the light of the sun, and thus she rises. And her first phase is in the east, comes from the 30th morning, and on that day she becomes visible. So, you know, it's like she's saying her, you know, is it like women, do they sync with the moon? It's like, it gets deep, y'all. And continues for you the first phase of the moon on the 30th day together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. And the one half of her goes forth by the 7th part, and her whole circumference is empty. So that's talking about basically the moon phases, because we could see a crescent moon. You know, if you look at the paradigm of a geocentric person, and you're looking at the moon and you're seeing only a crescent, where's the other part of the moon going? It's got to be the first thing you need to ask yourself. You know, where's the other part of the crescent going? Is that boy inside the firmament or what? Talk to me. I'm not done. Without light, without the exception of one part of it, the 14th part of her light. So this is basically talking about, if I had to interpret this, and drop your interpretations in the comments below, please, we're all learning, is that the phases are going in and out of the moon. The firmament, the different phases. Let me explain. So basically, this is what we're reading. The different light is getting charged up, and we could think of this water almost as the firmament. You know, is the moon getting charged in heaven, getting the new light? You guys tell me. You know, it looks like how we get a crescent, you know? Because you got to ask yourself from a geocentric standpoint, where is the rest of the moon going? For entertainment purposes only, do your own research on everything. These are just theories. That looks just like it. So when we're reading this, without light, with the exception of 1/7 part of it, the 14th part of her light, and when she receives 1/7 part of her light, is talking about the different crescents, I believe. And she sets with the sun, and when the sun rises from the moon, rises with him. So the sun is a him, and receives the half of one part of the light. And in that night, in the beginning of her morning, this is the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun. It's deep, y'all. Look at how many chapters. This is just chapter 72 through 82. I believe you want to try to get the R.H. Charles, if you can. And it has, if you did want to read it. But yeah, we're going to have to go live and really dive into this. I'm going to try to go live tonight, y'all. But let's continue. You know, Enoch talks about a lot of other things as well. Also about how the 200 angels fell from heaven, and just so happened there's 200 craters on the earth. Check this out. You got 200 craters all around the earth. Left by 200 angels, possibly? That was an event. I've seen one in Rockwell, New Mexico. You know, that was one crater I seen. Makes you think.
Is this unassuming picture taken off the shores of Antarctica perhaps the most important photograph ever taken in human history? Stick around, I'll explain more. This man's name is George Rayner, and he's a biologist, and he unknowingly possibly took the most important picture in human history while he was down in Antarctica exploring whales. There is a large faction of people that believe what he captured here beyond the ice wall is actually the edge of our known world, the firmament. And that might sound crazy to you, but I'm going to provide you with some evidence that might make you think it's not so crazy. Let's first get a point of reference by looking at this Go Fast rocket that was launched from Arizona that went straight up and at about 72 miles appeared to hit something, a barrier of some sort. And if we are potentially living under a dome and we look at Arizona, it would be closer to the highest part of the dome. So 72 miles here would lead to a lower resting dome down towards Antarctica. And when you scour the internet and you find encyclopedia information pre-NASA, this is what you find.
And that's why they say when you get rainbows, they lose their arch the further you get out. So it makes sense that the dome might be lower over there.
Show you the Encyclopedia Britannicas in the public libraries before 1958. Here is volume 2 out of the alphabet A. And we're going to flip to the Antarctica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south.
So 72 miles high. And when you get closer to Antarctica, as in New Zealand and Australia, 13,000 feet is where they're saying the dome is, which is about 3 miles. So going from 72 miles down to about 3 miles.
I gotta be honest, I don't know what's scarier, knowing that we're under a dome or the possibility that we're in Satan's little season.
At some point, it seems like that is going to connect to the known grounds. And when you colorize this photo and look at it closer and compare what that looks like to the ripples of water, they look almost identical. And when you look at other photos from this man's camera, you see it's not just a phenomenon caused from the camera or the type of photography or even the lens, but it is very specific to this area here beyond the glacier or ice wall or whatever this is. It's specific to the background. So like I said in the beginning, is this photograph potentially the most important photograph that has ever been taken in modern history? And do the shape of rainbows actually reflect the fact that we are in fact living under a dome? God's special dome that he created to protect us from Lord knows what else is out there, because I think we're living in a little anthole in a much, much bigger flat realm. Oh, and I didn't even mention the fact that when you take a different perspective, you see what this mountain actually is. Mouth, nose, eyes, you know. But as always, you guys know I'm just joking. I know that's probably just the fact that the camera couldn't adjust the focus so it rippled. It's not actually frozen water, and we're not actually under a dome. We live on a globe spinning 400,000 miles per hour, hurling through the universe. Of course, entertainment purposes. Have a great day.
The crazy part is this footage just got released.
Video ever of someone hitting the This might be the first video ever of someone hitting the waters in the firmament above the earth. Now, people are saying that this might be upside down, but how would these be hanging this way if this was upside down, if you flipped over your camera? This is what was mentioned in the Bible, the waters above the firmament. Look at this thing here too. This
Just like the Hennessy commercial.
wouldn't be acting like this if this was just an upside down video and someone was crashing into the water. How would the hot air balloon be this way? So I can't prove the validity of this video, but if you guys read the Bible, read the Quran, read all religious texts, listen to our ancestors, they all mentioned the firmament and how God divided the waters which were above the firmament from the waters which were below. It's as above, so below. This could be the first video ever of someone smashing into the firmament and the waters above. And I'm curious what you guys think of this, because this is very interesting to me. This is the book of Genesis, the book of creation. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. Don't you find it interesting that they put these things?
If we go back and keep reading, we can see what we talked about earlier with the moon. And God said, let there be light. And it was light, and God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Trying to find the lesser light. That's probably down a little bit. 16, I believe.
Oh, and God called the firmament heaven. Don't you find it interesting that they put these things right in our faces to mock us, to laugh at us, to tell us the truth in plain sight? This is not the only example of this. There's hundreds of examples in TV shows, movies depicting the firmament and the waters above. Perhaps this is why our skies are blue, because it's waters above us. It's waters above. Why?
What if all the waters are connected? Like, because now that we got this vortex heartbeat theory going on now, like there's this vortex in the middle of the ocean of our world. What if that vortex sucks the water in from our oceans and then puts it like all around us? I don't know, just a theory.
Why do you think that rainbows are arched like a dome? Because they're reflecting off the firmament. Obviously, this is right in front of your face. It's just observable reality. We live under God's firmament, as mentioned in the Bible. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. The truth will set you free, and ye shall know the truth. Peace and love.
Real eyes, real lies, real lies. For entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. For context, these are strictly theories, not factual. Do your own research on everything. The bells of the old world, before they were all rounded up, had many uses, from construction to healing, and not just for us little people.
I think the bells of the old world had a lot more purposes behind them, from construction to healing, and they weren't just made for us little people. Just look at us little inheritors standing in front of this giant bell in Russia. Just look at some of them. Do you really think us with no power tools, no heavy lifting cranes, could have really created something this massive. There was such a focused effort to remove all these bells. They say it was for ammunition. But just look at the crowds and the controllers that gather around these bells as they're removed. They gotta make sure they take their picture in front of the cameras as the bells get removed, all with such glee in their face. Looks like this gentleman's documenting the specifics of that bell. And the group of well-dressed controllers looking on in a field of confiscated bells. See, that was a big part of these wars. They weren't just what they tell us they were. They were about removing the history and the technology of.
Take a close look at this bell. Looks like some type of queen is on the cover, and we have like the double-headed griffin, I believe, or could it be a swan? Very interesting.
The old world, the true history, and bells were a big part of it. They were not just used to tell time or let you know church was starting. There's a storied history in use of these bells, from healing with the frequency they cause, to even construction. You can shape stone with sound, you can levitate stone with sound.
What was it? The walls of Jericho. Didn't that get something had to do with that, with sound?
And if you had a few giants ringing these, it would be all that much more easier. There are plenty of old world examples of sound not just shaping, but also destroying objects, like the walls of Jericho. Brick by brick, bell by bell, they have removed all traces of our true history. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
So many questions when looking at this. Who actually made these bells? Who carried them? Like, this is a small bell, like you see it getting tugged on an industrial size sailboat by the looks of it. But how did they get the even larger 2-story bells? How did they move those back in the day? You know, definitely not by horse and wagon, if you ask me. Possibly airships. Or they had giants carry them boys and take them where they had to go. They probably rang these bad boys when dragons were around. As soon as they saw a dragon, it's, sound the alarm. You know, it's, hey, so many different ways you could spin this. That has me thinking, like, what really took place at the walls of Jericho? Because, like, I know the walls of Jericho, it was like, what, a wall dropped from sound, allegedly? Now, while looking up what is the walls of Jericho, this person allegedly found the walls of Jericho. So let's see what they have to say about this.
Here, where Jericho is, it's called Paul Bunyan's Woodpile. This is where it is on the map. It's right on the ridge above what is called Jericho, modern day Jericho, which is actually a ghost town. So what we're looking at now would be considered the plains of Jericho, as referenced in the Bible. There's Jericho out there. It was a train stop. So back in the day, there was a train that went through there, and Jericho was, I believe, part of the route, and that was a town or something there, and it became a ghost town, which is interesting because this whole area matches the biblical prophecies and descriptions of Jericho, saying it will be a wasteland and no one will inhabit it. So I compiled a list of all the scriptures that reference Jericho that I could find.
Alright, the men of Jericho helped build the wall. Kings captured the plains of Jericho. Jesus was leaving Jericho to heal 2 blind men. Zacharias and Jericho. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell. Fascinating.
A wall on the rim of this mountain encompassed the entire city. Hexagonal logs that were 15 feet long and 1 foot in diameter, that were the basis for the electromagnetic field necessary for their protection. For the frequency field to fall, it would be necessary to fall by the same frequency, protecting them. That was sound, vibration, and frequency, causing the collapse. On the far east side of the formations, there is a large wall, several hundred feet across, and perhaps 100 to 150 feet tall. It is not readily visible to hikers unless you descend into a small ravine on the east side of the wall.
And this is right here where Jericho is. It's called Paul Bunyan's Woodpile. This is where it is on the
Wall of Jericho ruins, huh? Activate submersible.
And this is right here.
Let's see if we can find it. We want Walls of Jericho. In Alabama, you say? See if we can get some close-ups. Ooh. Uh-oh, we got close-ups. Hayesin! Oh yeah. Something definitely took... Oh, they blurred some out? Something definitely took place here. I am not getting petrified tree vibes. I am getting, well, maybe. I don't know what this structure is, but it is interesting. Let's back up. Could this be the biblical place that they were referring to, the walls of Jericho? Why would they name it this in the first place? Beautiful waterfall. And you know what they say about waterfalls? All waterfalls, it is a chance it could be a petrified tree stump. Because these waters are getting pulled from the great deep. So you got to think how deep this ancient petrified tree stump roots go down into the earth. And it looks like some type of something's going on here. All allegedly, of course. Do your own research on everything. These are just theories. Let's go back. This is definitely interesting, to say the least. Something went down here. Have any of you guys been to this? This looks like it's on a trail you can go to. There's some excellent fishing going on. Just be careful. Like, this whole thing could possibly be the walls of Jericho. Is this still the wall? That's Turkey Creek. But look, this whole thing. What do they got here? Fascinating. These waterfalls are insane, y'all. Look at the blue color. Where is it running off to? Like, we do not see where this water goes to. Like some type of underwater cavern or something. Very interesting. You guys tell me. Drop your thoughts below. Walls of Jericho, Alabama. Y'all got some explaining to do. If you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. I love these blue fluorite cubes. You know, like, I would love to have one of these in my collection. You know, because just, it's like a trapped piece of ocean or firmament, if you will. You know, sky ice. You know, I love them. The blue colors, it looks like it's got some green at the bottom. That is crazy. What would you guys name this specimen? Put it in the comments below. What would you guys name this? If I had to name this specimen, I would call it the wall shard. The wall shard.
And here we go. And here we go.
Wow, it ate a fish?
And here we go.
It looks like she just dropped a few quarters in and it got to work. Incredible. Like she's about to play billiards.
This is modern art, an absolute abomination, and people think we're the most advanced civilization to exist. I think we are going backwards. This versus that intricate, just precise.
She was making a demonic portal, wasn't she? If you really look at it.
That intricate, just precisely mechanical silver swan. And this is what we're seeing nowadays. We're not building like we used to build. We're not advanced. We're going backwards. You let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. Peace and love.
Elasmotherium sibiricum, the real Siberian unicorn, roamed Ice Age Eurasia, weighing up to 4.5 tons and standing taller than a modern elephant. This massive rhinoceros galloped across the steppes with a single horn that may have reached nearly 2 meters, surviving until as recently as 39,000 years ago, close enough in time to meet early modern humans. Elasmotherium sibiricum.
Elasmotherium sibiricum. It reminds you of that creature on Star Wars that they were getting chased by when they reached the Antarctic. Or I don't know if they're on a different planet or what, but definitely gives you sci-fi vibes. And that's all we have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Join what I consider the best community on YouTube. And I just want to say thank you. I love you guys. The code word for today is waters. Go ahead and drop waters in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video. And I just want to say thank you for your support. I try to heart and respond to as many as I can because, you know, I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm going to try to hang out longer over on the Jet Ski Chuck channel. So be sure to head over there. Like and subscribe, turn notifications to all so you don't miss out on any of the action when I do go live, because it's coming, baby, and we about to go deep. But yeah, thank you guys. I love you. This was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.